If you can toss out every single industrial coffee creamer sitting in your fridge, because your coffee creamer may be part of the biggest food scam in America. In the past 12 months, class action lawsuits have hit over 24 major coffee creamer brands for hiding seed oils, titanium dioxide, and artificial thickening agents behind natural or non-dairy labels. A recent USDA audit uncovered that over 70% of creamers labeled healthy or plant-based at major US retailers failed to meet basic safety transparency used in European standards. What's worse, none of this is illegal in the US. You're not buying creamer. You're buying a chemistry experiment in disguise designed to look comforting, priced to seem healthy, and branded to hijack your trust. So here's what matters. Only 6 coffee creamers still survive this minefield, all approved by dietitians, all stripped clean of seed oils, gums, and hidden fillers. We're naming names, and by the time we finish, you'll never look at your morning splash the same way again. Number 1. Laird Superfood Creamer. Laird Superfood Creamer isn't just a better choice, it's the one that makes you question why you ever trusted the others. Right from the first look at the label, it does something most creamers won't. It tells the truth. While brands like Coffee Mate and International Delight continue packing their bottles with hydrogenated oils, corn syrup solids, and milk-derived additives disguised as non-dairy, Laird keeps it clean. Just 3 ingredients: coconut milk, powder, organic coconut sugar, and Aquamin, a natural calcium from red algae. Nothing modified, nothing made in a chemistry lab. This is a product designed by someone who actually uses it. Laird Hamilton built this blend for performance, not profit. And it shows not in flashy flavors or sugar highs, but in how your body responds. People who've made the switch report fewer stomach issues, better focus, and a smoother energy curve after their morning cup. At around $10 to $12 for a 7-ounce bag that's 227 grams, it's not the cheapest on the shelf. But when you stop paying for filler and start paying for real food, the math feels different. One bag can stretch to nearly 50 cups of coffee. That's less than what most folks spend on sweeteners and junk that hurt them more than help. The truth is, many of us picked up a toxic habit without even knowing it. We thought the creamer was harmless, a splash of flavor, a bit of comfort. But for years we've been sold convenience over health and sugar over substance. Laird offers a reset. It won't turn your coffee into a milkshake or smell like artificial vanilla frosting. It just works simply, consistently, and without playing tricks. If your morning routine needs a quiet revolution, this is where you start. Number 2. Oatly Oat Milk Vanilla Creamer. Oatly Oat Milk. Vanilla creamer has earned a loyal following because it delivers something simple that most creamers fail to do. It keeps its promise. When you pick up the carton, you expect a smooth vanilla creamer that blends well and doesn't take over your coffee. And that's exactly what you get. Nothing exaggerated, nothing dressed up, just a product that performs the way people hoped it would. This matters because many popular creamers have turned into gimmicks. Coffee Mate or International Delight often lean on seasonal flavors, heavy sweetness, and bright packaging to hide the fact that the quality inside the bottle hasn't kept up. Oatly took the opposite approach. Instead of chasing pumpkin swirl or sugar cookie blast, it focused on the basics: texture, taste, and trust. The vanilla in this creamer is gentle, not overwhelming, not artificial, just enough to soften the bitterness of strong coffee without turning it into a milkshake. The consistency feels steady, similar to traditional half and half, which makes it familiar for those who grew up adding cream but now want a lighter, more responsible choice. It doesn't separate in hot coffee, it doesn't leave a film on top, and it doesn't feel like a compromise. And then there's the carton itself. At 1 liter or 33 ounces, it usually sells for $5 to $6. That makes it affordable enough to keep on hand, even for people on fixed incomes, but still high quality compared to the bargain creamers that often disappoint. The math adds up. You pay a little more than the cheapest brands, but you actually finish it with satisfaction instead of tossing half of it away. Oatly has also leaned on transparency as part of its identity. It shares sourcing details, carbon footprint data, and ingredient breakdowns in plain language. For many consumers who've felt let down by food companies before, that kind of openness is worth almost as much as the taste itself. At the end of the day, Oatly's vanilla creamer isn't trying to reinvent your morning. It's not flashy, it's not indulgent, and it doesn't need to be. It's simply a reliable option that helps people enjoy coffee again without second-guessing what's in their cup. That's why it resonates, because in a market full of over-promises, Oatly quietly delivers. Number 3. Chobani Dairy Coffee Creamer. It's time to clear out the bottles that have been dragging you down. The creamers loaded with gums, artificial flavors, and oils that never belonged in coffee in the first place. They don't deserve space in your fridge. If you want to replace them with something that feels honest, Chobani Dairy Coffee Creamer is where to start. Chobani didn't enter the creamer aisle by accident. The brand has been known for years in the yogurt world, building its reputation on simple ingredients and a commitment to transparency. When they launched their coffee creamers, they carried the same philosophy: keep it real, keep it recognizable. The base is milk and cream from cows not treated with RBST mixed with cane sugar, and natural flavorings that you can actually taste as real, not synthetic. That makes it one of the few mainstream creamers that still feels connected to actual dairy farming instead of industrial shortcuts. Where most creamers chase trends, pumpkin spice blasts, caramel overloads, candy-flavored gimmicks, Chobani's approach is steadier. Vanilla hazelnut sweet cream. The flavors are classic, balanced, and don't drown out the coffee itself. People who've tried it often say it feels closer to the cream they used decades ago, before the grocery aisle became cluttered with products that cared more about branding than quality. Another important piece: texture. Chobani creamers pour thick, smooth, and consistent. There's no separation, no strange film, no chemical aftertaste. That's a big deal for older drinkers who remember how cream used to behave in hot coffee and have been disappointed by how fake so many modern options feel. The price point is straightforward. A pint-sized bottle, 16 ounces, usually runs about $3 to $4 in most grocery stores. Larger sizes are available too, but even at the smaller size, it's affordable compared to high-end plant-based alternatives. And it feels worth it because you finish the bottle without wasting it. Chobani has also leaned into ethical practices that resonate with a lot of households. The milk supply is traceable, the cows are not treated with artificial growth hormones, and the brand invests in fair partnerships with farmers. In a time when consumers feel betrayed by corporations cutting corners, this sense of accountability helps rebuild trust. For many people, Chobani's creamer represents a middle ground. It's not industrial sludge disguised as non-dairy, and it's not a boutique product priced out of reach. It's a familiar dairy creamer done the right way, without additives that weigh you down or labels that mislead you. If you've been staring at your coffee lately, wondering why it doesn't taste the way it used to, maybe the problem isn't the coffee. Maybe it's what you've been pouring into it. Swapping out the processed creamers for Chobani is a small step, but it's a step back toward the kind of honesty that used to come standard in American kitchens. Number 4. Califa Farms Better Half. One of the first things people notice about Califa Farms Better Half is the price. It usually comes in around $4 for a 16-ounce carton. That puts it in the same ballpark as many mainstream creamers, but the difference shows up the moment it hits your coffee. For folks who brew a classic medium roast from Folgers Maxwell House or Dunkin' at home, this creamer blends in naturally. It softens the bitterness without turning the cup into dessert. For those who lean towards stronger dark roasts like French roast or espresso blends, Better Half adds just enough creaminess to round out the edges without covering the depth of the coffee. What makes this creamer stand out is balance. It was designed as a half-and-half alternative: almond milk and coconut cream, working together to give body and texture without heavy dairy. That balance is why it works so well in everyday American coffee routines. It doesn't overpower, it doesn't thin out, it just makes the coffee taste like something you'd want to sit with a little longer. A lot of middle-aged drinkers have shared that Better Half reminds them of the way coffee used to feel: simple, reliable, and not overloaded with sugar. It doesn't carry the syrupy aftertaste that has crept into many creamers. Instead, it offers a clean finish that pairs with the kind of coffees people have been drinking for decades, whether that's a basic drip machine brew or a percolator pot on the weekends. From a practical standpoint, the carton size is manageable. 16 ounces is enough to last a week or more without taking up half the fridge. And at $4, it doesn't feel like a gamble the way some plant-based creamers do. It hits that sweet spot of being affordable while still feeling like you're upgrading from the generic stuff. The ingredient list matters too. Better Half doesn't lean on gum stabilizers or mystery flavoring to create its texture. The almond and coconut base does the work naturally, and that's part of why it holds up in hot coffee. People who've tried it often talk about the smoothness, no separation, no odd film on top, just a consistent pour from first cup to last. Califa Farms has built its reputation on plant-based innovation, but Better Half is one of their most approachable products. It doesn't feel like a specialty item, it feels like a creamer you can actually keep in the fridge and use every day. For anyone tired of creamers that feel artificial or bloated with sugar, Better Half is a reminder that simple can still be satisfying. It fits into the daily coffee habits that so many Americans grew up with, only this time it does it with ingredients that people can feel better about drinking. Number 5. Evolve Protein Shake. A lot of people mistake Evolve Protein Shake for just another gym drink, something meant for athletes or folks counting macros. But here's the twist, it actually works as one of the smartest coffee creamers you can buy. That misunderstanding has kept it off the radar for many everyday coffee drinkers, especially those who don't see themselves as protein shake people. Using Evolve in coffee changes the routine. Instead of dumping in a splash of flavored creamer that adds little more than sugar, this option brings 20 grams of plant-based protein into the cup. It's a way to make coffee do double duty, not just as a caffeine kick, but as something that holds you through the morning without crashing an hour later. For retirees, busy parents, or anyone living on a tighter budget, that's real value. One drink becomes both breakfast and coffee, not two separate purchases. The shake comes in flavors like vanilla mocha and cafe latte, all of which blend easily into hot or iced coffee. Unlike many protein products, it doesn't leave a chalky taste or clumps that ruin the cup. Instead, it mixes smoothly, adding creaminess and flavor without feeling artificial. It turns a basic home-brewed Folgers or Dunkin' cup into something closer to a cafe drink, but with more staying power. Price-wise, it runs about $8 to $9 for a 4-pack of 11-ounce bottles. That sounds higher than a traditional creamer, but each bottle stretches across multiple cups if used sparingly. And if you use a whole bottle at once, it becomes a meal replacement paired with your coffee, which, for many households, is a practical way to save both time and money. Another angle worth noting, Evolve is plant-based, made from pea protein. That makes it accessible for people avoiding dairy or soy without the digestive issues tied to many conventional creamers. It's also a source of fiber and has fewer added sugars than the average flavored creamer bottle on store shelves. The appeal here isn't indulgence, it's function. For folks who grew up with coffee being just coffee, it feels strange at first to pour in something labeled as a shake. But once you've tried it, the logic clicks. Instead of empty calories, you're starting the day with protein flavor and a cup that actually keeps you moving. Evolve won't be for everyone. Some prefer a lighter taste or the nostalgia of cream and sugar. But for people looking to stretch $1, simplify mornings, or take a small step toward better nutrition without giving up coffee, this is one of the few options that genuinely earns its place. Number 6. Naked Vanilla Collagen Creamer. Most creamers are about taste. A few are about cutting calories. Naked Vanilla Collagen Creamer takes a different path. It's about giving something back to your body while you drink the coffee you were going to have anyway. That angle alone makes it stand out in a market crowded with products that only care about flavor and shelf life. This creamer builds its identity around collagen, a protein linked to joint health, skin elasticity, and overall recovery. For middle-aged and older adults, collagen isn't a buzzword. It's a nutrient the body produces less of as the years go by. By adding it directly into coffee, Naked offers a way to fold something restorative into a daily habit instead of forcing people to buy supplements they'll forget to take. The vanilla flavor is mild and natural without the heavy artificial sweetness many creamers lean on. It softens black coffee, balances the bitterness, and leaves a clean finish. For people who brew familiar brands like Folgers, Maxwell House, or Dunkin', the flavor feels classic. It enhances rather than masks. It also mixes smoothly, avoiding the chalky clumps that turn so many collagen powders into a wasted purchase. At around $20 for a 1-pound bag, the upfront cost can feel steep. But that bag lasts for about 30 to 40 servings, which spreads the value across an entire month of daily coffee. Compared to buying separate creamers and collagen supplements, it often comes out cheaper, not to mention simpler. One scoop in your morning cup and you're done. Naked also leans into transparency in a way that resonates with people tired of marketing tricks. The ingredient list is short and specific: collagen peptides, coconut milk powder, natural vanilla, and a touch of sweetness from organic coconut sugar. No hidden dairy proteins, no synthetic additives. It's the kind of label you can read once and understand without pulling out your phone. The appeal isn't about turning coffee into a dessert. It's about making the daily ritual serve a purpose beyond caffeine. For folks managing stiff joints, weaker hair or nails, or just looking to age on their own terms, Naked becomes less of a creamer and more of a daily insurance policy that actually tastes good. Of course, not everyone will prioritize collagen in their routine. Some will balk at the higher price compared to generic creamers. But for those who see the value in combining taste, function, and honesty, Naked Vanilla Collagen Creamer isn't just another option in the fridge. It's a way to make coffee work harder for you, quietly, consistently, and without a side of regret. Looking at the creamer aisle today can feel overwhelming. Bright labels, endless flavors, promises of non-dairy or zero sugar. Yet so many of them leave people disappointed, uncomfortable, or just plain tired of being tricked. That's why these 6 choices matter. Laird, Oatly, Chobani, Califa, Evolve, and Naked all stand apart because they do something most creamers forgot how to do. They keep it real. Each one speaks to a different need. Some bring back the simple comfort of cream without the baggage. Others give plant-based drinkers a reliable option that doesn't separate or taste artificial. And a few go even further, adding protein, collagen, or steady energy to the daily cup. Together, they offer proof that better choices are out there even when the grocery shelves make it hard to believe. This isn't about chasing trends or buying into hype. It's about reclaiming a small part of daily life that should feel simple and honest. Coffee is personal. It's the quiet ritual that starts the day, the cup shared with family, the moment of calm before the noise. The creamer you put in it shouldn't undo that. So if you've been holding onto creamers that let you down, the ones that promise everything and deliver nothing, maybe it's time to let them go. These 6 aren't perfect, but they're honest, dependable, and worth trusting. And in today's food market, that's more than enough reason to make the switch.
This video does not promote division within the United States or encourage segregation. All content is presented for the purpose of exploration, analysis, and fostering discussion based on current events, public sentiment, and social trends. We fully respect the United States Constitution and all federal regulations. If today's analysis made you think, drop a comment so we can keep the conversations going. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you will never miss our next independent deep dive.